Welcome back to Cox Connections, exclusively on Cox 9 Roanoke. I'm Kim Stanley. The United Way Roanoke Valley and its partners reach thousands of people each year through special programs. Each year, the United Way strives to reach its fundraising goal to support these programs, and every year, Roanoke Valley residents meet the challenge. United Way Roanoke Valley President and CEO Frank Rogan joins us now to tell us more about the United Way and the campaign. Frank, good to see you as always.
Yes, good to see you too, Kim. Yeah, thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. The United Way just does so much, in the area. Tell us a little bit about the organization.
Sure. Well, the main thing that we do is help people, and that's our main mission. So the unique thing about United Way is that we're really a grassroots organization made up of donors and volunteers. And our job is to advance the common good in the Roanoke Valley. So what we can do is really look out in the valley and try to figure out what the needs are in the valley and try to find the best programs and solutions to advance advance the common good overall.
Okay. With the economy and where it is today, how is that impacting the United Way and ultimately the community?
Well, things have changed a lot over the past decade, and I would say that things like the poverty rate has gone up quite a bit, which means there's more of our citizens that are struggling out there. So we find that, what we're trying to do is rethink our systems and our approach to solving problems to make sure that we can be relevant to what people need today and impactful as well. So we know there's a lot of folks out there that are struggling with basic needs, which we address. We're also trying to dig deeper and find out what are the root causes of some of these issues and how can we help people with education or help with their finances and create financial stability or help them also with their healthcare needs. So that's our main approach, but I would say it has been a very difficult decade for a lot of folks out there, and our job is to make sure that we identify where those needs are, who the people are that need help, and what exactly can we do as a community to help bring everybody up.
How do you decide where your resources go?
Well, that's always the big question. There's so many good organizations, good charities out there, and everybody wants to help. So the unique thing about United Way is that we really do try to look at it in a very objective, with a research-based focus. So we know there's a lot of folks that need help. The question is, where can we apply resources to help those folks kind of lift their situation up? So we rely upon the communities. We rely upon our volunteers and our donors to really help us determine what matters most to people in the Roanoke Valley. So we have a plan, basically a community action plan with strategies and goals. And if organizations can help us move forward on that plan, then they're more likely to be aligned with our funding priorities. They can possibly get money through the campaign. Then we have volunteers that actually do the kind of the due diligence and look at the agencies and how they run and the programs and making sure that they're really returning a good return on investment and they're really making a difference for people in need. So it's a very intricate process, but it's really very focused on volunteers who can really look at what the community needs and make sure that we can get the best programs for people's charitable contribution. And in the end of the day, it's all about moving people up to another level of health and wholeness.
That's great. Yeah, really focused on measuring, tracking success, and making certain that it's relevant in the community. And
exactly.
I think that's just phenomenal. So tell us about the partnerships. You talked a little bit about the partnerships and the collaboration. Sure. Tell us about some examples of what's really working in the community.
Well, what we're learning right now is that to really help a person or a family, it's important that you surround that person or the family with the kind of resources that will help them improve their lives. And we're learning that when you put organizations and programs together that focus on the individual in need, we get better results. So some of the examples that we have that I know you're familiar with because you've been helping us with it is Smart Beginnings of Greater Roanoke, and that's all about helping kids get ready for school. And we know that if a child is ready for kindergarten on that first day, there's a good chance they will do well right through their entire school career, graduate, and then get a good job and be a good contributing citizen. So we find that to be one of the best methods of helping our community grow overall. It's a great economic development driver because if you have more kids that are healthy and getting promoted and graduating and starting businesses is good for the whole community. We're starting new partnerships as well, and one we're working on right now is to try to help people with their finances. We know a lot of folks have great difficulty managing their money from week to week or month to month. We also know that people might use something like payday lenders where they might be paying more fees than they should for their banking services. So we're trying to assess right now what people need to help them manage their money better. and then try to direct them to an organization or a financial institution that will help them in a way that they pay less fees and manage their money better.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And the last thing we're doing right now, just to mention the health part, is that we're really working with a lot of our healthcare providers in the Roanoke Valley, from Carillion and Lewiscale, and some folks like New Horizons, and trying to figure out how can we really address the people's true healthcare needs of accessibility to healthcare, oral care or mental health care, or just basic prevention of health, wellness type programs that'll help people to probably prevent some of these things that plague us later on in life.
Right. Well, you're in the middle of campaign.
Exactly.
I will say Campaign for United Way is all year,
Exactly.
However, you really are in the middle of the campaign season. How's that going?
Well, as you know, Kim, I think you mentioned this at the top of the show, is that we have a very generous group of people here in the Roanoke Valley. We're known across the state and across the country as being a very generous, caring community, and we're seeing that manifest again this year as well. But I'd also say that there's a lot of things that we could fund if we had more money. So this is really an invitation to everybody to see if we can get together and help the campaign move forward. At the moment, we're doing pretty well. We're probably about halfway there. We've raised close to $4 million. We're trying to get to over $6.2 million. Okay. So we still have a long way to go. And I guess the point I like to make is that if everybody got in the game, we could really have a much healthier community. In fact, the potential, if you took about 130,000 working people in the Roanoke Valley, if everybody gave $1 for every day of the year, we'd raise over $47 million.
Wow.
So we're a far cry away from that. But if we can move further on our potential, we think we can take care of any kind of government cuts that might be coming down the pike or increase the needs, and really try to focus on programs that bring people up.
Okay.
So we think that we're doing pretty well. Our campaign chair is Jay Cummings at Kroger, which is a great community supporter, and we have great volunteers out there. We've seen many generous contributions, but we still have a long way to go, so I invite everybody to take advantage of the moment and to give.
All right, and real quick, how do they contact the United Way?
Well, telephone number is the first way, 777-4201, that's my number.
Okay.
Or we have a website, which is uwrv.org, and they can get all the information they need from that.
Great, great. Well, we encourage our viewers to give if they possibly can, and I love your comment about just $1, what it would do. So.
Make a big difference.
Yeah, it would. Thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you, Kim. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Coming up on Cox Connections, EHS Support Services tops all Roanoke Valley small businesses. That story after the break.